Hi, this is Terri Runnels, and you are listening to the Interactive Interview, and I love being interactive with these guys.
You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the Interactive Interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Once again with Terri Runnels. Terri, how you doing?
I am doing lovely, and yourself?
It's great to have you back on. I'm doing well. It's great to have you back on once again.
I know. Does this mean like we're old friends?
I guess so.
For the second time, does this mean we're pals?
Hey, I'd like to think so.
Okay, cool.
All right, good. So, since we last interviewed you, I saw that you opened up your brand new website. I
did. It had a very, very rocky start because literally like an hour after it was launched, my personal and private email address got out, and I had fans calling, and actually what they would do, they would I had an IM set up to go to my cell phone, so
right.
I was getting bombarded and had to shut it down, and so people couldn't get on, and people had paid, and then they couldn't get on, and it was just nuts.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's all good now, and we're adding new components every day, so it's all good.
Well, what can some people that want to visit this website, what can they find on there?
Well, all people, not some people. All people.
All people want to visit this site. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, we don't, we don't hold anybody back. We open the doors to everyone.
Right.
Well, the cool thing is, and the thing that makes this a little bit different is, first of all, it's updated regularly, and as those of you who have a subscription to the site know, if you're on there, there's a new photo in one of the galleries every day or every couple of days. I am getting ready to set up another photo shoot in the next probably 3 weeks that will be up. And also, it's, there's a gallery that's private life. So instead of seeing everything that's posed and perfect and, that usually that's the only thing people are privy to see, you get to see, me hanging out, being silly with family, with friends, with my child. I just put up one the other night, and my child's not too happy about this.
Why is that?
It was science experiment night at school, and so Dustin and I went in, and we were to conduct an experiment at one table, and they were like, each parent had a different experiment to do, and so Dustin and I did this one experiment, and 2 kids at a time come to the table to do the experiment. Well, I put a picture of her and this little girl who was doing the experiment with her online, and she's like, "Mom, why'd you do that, Mom?" So she's not real happy with that. But I just think it's cool to see that we all have private lives and real lives, and we're human beings that work hard, play hard, and love hard, and there you go. You get to peek in there. And I derailed. I didn't tell you all the things that are on there. Other than the galleries, there is. The coolest thing to me is the section on advice on life and relationships. So if you'll remember the Raw magazine column I used to do, the advice column.
It was like the Dear Abby kind of thing, right?
Yes. Well, this is basically the same kind of forum where you can ask me questions about anything having to do with work, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, cousin, husband, wife, child, whatever, And before, you couldn't always guarantee. In fact, you could rarely guarantee that your question would be answered because I got so many in each month and could only fit like 3 or 4 on a magazine. So, and by the way, I just did an interview the other night, and I said the word like 52 times, so I have to really concentrate on not saying
Don't worry. There's been some people that have come on the show that have just said nothing but that, and it just gets hard to listen.
The other night when I heard myself, I went, "Terri Lynn, you said like a bazillion times." So, anyway, so the advice column is a really cool thing, and I enjoy taking the time to think out the person's problems, and really it's not answered lightly or, quickly and swiftly and cast aside. I really spend time thinking about the person's situation and they get an answer, and it's an answer that they can keep. They can, if they're a big enough fan, they can frame the answer, or they, put it up if they want to. If it's not, that's another issue too. Before, if you sent in a question, it was going to be printed in the magazine. You had no privacy whatsoever.
Right.
And with this, you have total. It's confidential, and nobody sees it. So that's a cool thing.
Excellent.
And then there's one more thing. Actually, there's two more things that are really cool.
What's that?
The shopping cart, or the shopping section, where you can go in and basically peruse Marlena's closet or Terri Runnels' closet. And there's a couple of Alexandra York things that I'm going to put up. I haven't put anything in her closet yet, but there's a couple that I still have that I'm going to put up for her. So that's a fun thing. I have a brand new item coming out for Christmas, and it's a Christmas ball, the Christmas ornament.
Right.
And I take and I kiss the ball, so you get my actual lip print, and that's sealed in like I don't know what product they use to seal it, but they seal it so the lipstick won't wipe off.
Right.
On the other side, it's personalized. If I was, if you ordered one, it would say James,
right,
loving kisses, Terri, and I put the year on it. So it's a really cool either gift for a friend or gift for yourself for Christmas.
Absolutely.
And the last thing that I just added is I'm selling a set of those blue balls instead of red and green balls. Which I have red balls and green balls. I'm selling the blue balls only in sets. And I'll let your imagination run wild and get a good laugh off of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that one myself.
I thought that was kind of fun without being blatant. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I had to think about that when you said that for a second. Like, what is she talking about? Right, just one comparison site. We had Missy Hyatt on the show several times. We talked about this a little off the air, but how is your site compared to what she's doing?
You don't see what my gynecologist sees on my site.
Okay, good. Okay.
You don't see, someone wrote me the other night and said that he was really disappointed that he didn't see as much skin as he wanted, and I immediately sent him an email back saying, first of all, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. And I tried to straddle the fence and be, as provocative as I can be and as I want to be, and at the same time have some sense of class, because
right,
I want my daughter to see an example of a quality, classy
lady. Right.
And so that's a really hard thing. You find yourself wanting to please the young 16-year-old who wants to see nothing but your tatas,
right,
and you also want to please, some female who's in her 40s, or, the mother of that 16-year-old that might get ticked off if he's buying a subscription and seeing my boobs.
Right.
So, or more than that. So, it's hard to straddle the fence, but I'm straddling it nonetheless. And I did give that guy, just for being honest and shooting straight with me, I gave him a free membership for a month.
Excellent. That's very nice of you to do that. Well, before we close out, that's one thing we forgot to mention. I just realized. What is the website address?
Thank you. It is www.therealterrirunnels.com.
And we'll put a link to that on the website. Just before we close out, we had Terri Taylor on last week, and between me and my partner, spelling Terry to each other, we keep forgetting which one gets the I and which one gets the Y. So, yes, absolutely. But he spoke very glowingly of you. We just were curious if you had anything to say to him.
Oh, I want to wait. You have to tell me at least one thing he said.
He told me that in the days of the York Foundation, that when you were managing him, that you used to have to ride in the car with him because all the other guys were after you.
Yeah, he helped me a bit.
Yeah,
he did.
That's.
He was one of those people that there was never a dull moment. He kept me in stitches, laughing, and he's candid sometimes, almost to a fault. Like he'll just say anything, and whereas you look at him and go, I wanted to say that, and you just went ahead and said it.
Right.
He's very honest in that respect, and I'm really thrilled. I didn't know the extent to which he had become a Christian, but I'm thrilled that he has turned his life around and is doing good things. And on that same note, I'm thrilled that my friend Vince Russo has done the same thing. Good for him.
Absolutely, and we're supposed to have Vince Russo on in just a few minutes. I'd hate to end this thing on a downer.
Oh, no.
But one of the other things that he said he saw you at was at Ray Traylor's funeral. What are your thoughts and memories of Ray Traylor?
Oh, it's mixed between laughter, just thinking of all of the days we rode up and down the road together, and it's mixed with sadness. And one of the hardest things I had to do was watch this hearse pull away and have my best friend in it, and I just kept saying, no, don't go, Ray, don't go. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, speaking at his funeral, and standing up there and looking down and realizing that was my buddy, my full of life buddy was now there in front of me, and it just wasn't right. So I think if anything, I go through periods of time where I expect a phone call from him at any moment, and then I have to realize that that's not going to happen, and it breaks my heart. But I really think that if we all took one little tiny speck of the zest and the excitement and fun and graciousness that he lived his life with and added it to our lives, would all be doing just fine.
Absolutely. Well, we can't thank you enough for coming back on. It's therealterryrunnels.com.
Yeah.
And you're going to be giving me a membership. I'll be sure to review it on the recap and let everybody know just what I think of the site. It'll probably be positive, so don't worry about that.
You know what? I'll take honesty. Shoot straight with me. I'm a big girl. I can take it.
Well, I'll be honest with you and say that I've been lucky enough to be getting some free items from guests, and I've not lied about any of them. I got a free CD from Chris Jericho that I have mixed emotions on. So I told him that the same as I will tell you the honest truth.
Very good.
Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on, and stay tuned for more from the Interactive Interview.
Good night.